moving on. Question number 4 here from Jonathan. What should I expect to pay for the conveyancing work a solicitor does when buying a property? I've been trying to research this as a couple of sites I've gone on, produced wildly different quotes, ranging from as low as $399 up to $2,800. I also read this article in the advisory who say that you should expect to pay between $1,000 and $1,500 to buy a property less than $500,000. It looks to be a reputable site. On the same page, it says to expect to pay between $600 to $800 if selling. Are these figures correct? Okay, Jonathan, well, that's a great question. Thank you for submitting that. And here's my view, Jonathan. I've been in this game for quite a long time. I've helped a lot of people, and I've also bought a lot and sold a lot of properties myself. And there's what I've noticed in the industry is there's a lot of solicitors who will compete on price. And I actually asked a solicitor outright this week. They said, we've got 23 years experience in the industry and the client only wants to buy on price. And I said to this person, so in 23 years, how much sales and marketing training have you actually done? And the response was, I'm a conveyancer. There's not enough hours in the day. What would you suggest? And the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you don't understand how to package and offer your service to the marketplace in a way that shows incredible value for money and that kind of helps the client to see what they're actually getting as part of their money, then it's very difficult to convince a client to spend more. And what I'm noticing, and this goes from looking at dozens and dozens and dozens of law firms behind the scenes, so not what you see on their pretty website, I'm talking diving into the financial numbers of most law firms, conveyancing law firms, etc. I am seeing that a lot of them are not as profitable as they would like to be. And the reason for that is that they advertise this work, or they will quote low fees on this work in order to win the job because their competition is charging less. And typically this is what happens in a lot of business environments. You have somebody that enters the market, they look around at what everybody else is doing, okay, and they see that they're offering the similar sort of levels of service, and they're all within a certain price range, so they decide to offer a little bit more service for a little less money. Okay, and so you end up in this negative spiral of prices, okay, and trying to do one-upmanship with the service, but at a lower price. And there's only so long that value disparity can go on for, because before it becomes totally unprofitable to do the work. And as a consequence, what I'm seeing is that a lot of these low-price conveyancing firms are unfortunately shooting themselves in the foot because they're winning a lot of work, but then you've got to pay somebody to process that work. And this then ends up behind the scenes as one of these scenarios. And I'm not saying this is for all law firms, I'm really not, but just in my experience, this is what I've found, is that the work then gets delegated to the, shall we say, the cheaper fee earners, or low-cost fee earners within the practice, in order for them to try and squeeze a profit out of all this low-price work that they've taken on. And that's a real challenge, because if you're working your way up through a law firm, you're a sort of newbie conveyancer, if you like, chances are you're going to be a lot more cautious. You're going to have a lot more questions to ask because you don't want to lose your job, or you don't want to get sued, right? That just seems logical to me as an approach. So the issue may well be that these lower level conveyancers or paralegals are doing this work, but then they raise a lot more inquiries because they're uncertain as to what's actually involved in the process. Whereas a more experienced conveyancer coming in who's got 10, 20, 30 years experience might look at a file and instantly know there's no problem, just do this and this, and actually we'll get the deal through a lot quicker. And I'm told by heavy hitters in the industry that the amount of work on a conveyancing file is about 6 to 8 hours. Okay, and that's if they've got the time to sit down and plow through the file in one hit and get the deal done. All right. Now, we talk about multitasking in today's modern society, right, where we jump from one task to another, to another, to another, and it seems like we're being really productive. And this is another thing that goes on behind the scenes, is that we've got this constant switching of one file to another, to another, to another. And actually, if you sat down with one file and did the bulk of the work in one hit, chances are you get that deal done in 6 hours and you could charge the client more for the experience because you've offered a premium level of experience, which is exactly what we were talking about in the last question. But you're offering a premium level of experience and you're charging accordingly, but the client's delighted because actually, do you know what? They've got the keys to the house a lot quicker than they thought they otherwise might. So I would suggest, my long-winded answer to this question would be, if I was in your shoes, I'd be now expecting to pay about 1,500 quid for your conveyancing, okay? And that is to help overcome a lot of these problems by getting an experienced conveyancer on the job and letting them get on with it, okay, and get it done as soon as possible, because ultimately that's the big thing. You know, let's say you found somebody who will do it for £1,000. Let's say you found somebody who will do it for 500 quid, but they're going to take 3 times as long to do it. The longer the deal goes on for, the higher the likelihood of that deal falling through, and you could be left out of pocket for several £100s and still not have moved home. So if I said to you, Jonathan, you know, option A is low cost conveyancing. It could take up to 26 weeks for you to exchange contracts, and there's a 1 in 3 chance of that deal falling through, okay, but you're only paying, 500 quid. Or option B is to pay 1,500 quid, have a 1 in 10 chance of the sale or purchase falling through, but it will be done in under 6 weeks. Which one are you going to go for? And when you're spending hundreds of thousands of pounds, or in this case, it seems like you're spending, up to £500,000, it's a total no-brainer. Okay, and that's exactly how I would approach it. Trying to save a few hundred quid on something like this, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth the stress. I've talked to hundreds of people who've gone through this process and they've regretted it. You only have to go to the money saving expert forums and have a look at the amount of questions and issues that are raised by people that have tried to cut corners in this process and avoid spending that extra little bit of money, and it's bitten them on the backside. So I wouldn't be doing you a good service, Jonathan, if I didn't recommend you spend more on getting the right conveyancer on board. If you are struggling, please reach out to me. I've got some people in my back pocket that can probably help you. They'll do this inside of 6 weeks, which I think will be phenomenal, okay, and help you to get the keys to your new dream home as quickly as possible. So hopefully that's helpful, Jonathan. Thank you for your question again, and good luck with that move. Hope it all goes well, and hopefully you'll be in before Christmas, which will be amazing. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed tuning in. As always, if you've got any questions, any concerns, any comments, any feedback that you want to give us, send it through to us. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk. I'm going to continue doing these webinars. I absolutely love them. I get a lot of excitement actually in the lead up to doing these webinars and answering all these questions and seeing what you guys are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It can be a minefield out there without the right people to go to sort of turn to for advice and everything else. But we're here to help and support as many people as we can. We've got the teams behind us who can help and support you as well. So if it's things like finding a conveyancer, if it's things like your searches, if it's things like your sellers packs, anything like that, then we're here to help and support you as much as we can. So I'm going to say goodbye at that level, guys. Thank you so much indeed for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on another webinar very soon. Thanks indeed for your attention, and good luck and goodbye.